All right, let's get started. Today, we're diving into a really powerful concept from microeconomics, one that's a total game changer for anyone in business. It's called revealed preference theory, and at its core, it's all about figuring out what your customers really want, not by asking them, but by watching what they do.
So let's kick things off with a problem that I guarantee everyone in business has run into. There is this huge, often frustrating gap between what customers say they want and where they actually spend their money. This quote, well, it just nails it. It gets right to the heart of why economists are, let's say, a little suspicious of tools like surveys and focus groups.
And this slide right here is the perfect illustration of that very conflict. Picture this, a tourist. You ask them, do you care about the environment? And they'll say, oh, of course, sustainability is incredibly important to me. They might even post about it online. But then comes the moment of truth. They're booking a hotel, and they see a cheaper, non-eco-friendly option right next to a pricier, green one. What do? Their wallet does the talking. And that action, that click to book the cheaper room, reveals a truth their words completely hid.
Now, this brings us to a really critical question for any manager, any strategist. If we know that what people say can be unreliable, how on earth do we get to the truth? How do we figure out what people actually value so we can build the products and services they'll genuinely pay for?
Well, the answer, as it turns out, is actually pretty simple, almost elegant. It's not about trying to ask cleverer questions or designing better surveys. It's about a fundamental shift in our focus, away from listening and towards observing. The real power is in watching what people actually do. And this is the theory itself. Revealed preference theory is built on this really solid premise. A customer's choices, the things they actually buy, are the most honest, most reliable data you'll ever get your hands on. Their actions reveal their true preferences way more accurately than any survey response ever could.
Let's circle back to our tourist example to make this crystal clear. By choosing the cheap hotel, that person has revealed a clear hierarchy in their preferences. The utility, and remember, utility is just the economic term for value or satisfaction that they get from saving money, is greater than the utility they get from making a sustainable choice. In this showdown, price utility clearly wins.
Okay, theory is one thing, but let's see how this plays out in the messy, real world of business. We're going to walk through a fantastic case study from a resort called Tanjung Lesung. It's a perfect example of how observing choices can lead to much smarter business strategies.
Now, the way this was set up is just brilliant from an analytical standpoint. The resort managers offered two totally different types of accommodation at the exact same price. Why is that so smart? Because it eliminates price from the equation. It isolates the decision so we can see what else customers truly value.
So, here are the choices on the table. Option A is your standard hotel room. It's predictable, it's comfortable, it's got air conditioning, all the things you'd expect. Option B is a glamping tent. It's a totally unique experience, it's got novelty, and, maybe most importantly in today's world, it's extremely Instagrammable. And the results? They couldn't be clearer. When you look at the booking data, when price isn't a factor, a huge number of tourists are picking the glamping tents over the standard rooms. Their actions are sending a very loud, very measurable signal.
So what preference has actually been revealed here? Well, this choice tells us that for this customer segment, the utility they get from a unique, shareable experience, that feeling of novelty, is higher than the utility they get from traditional comforts, like guaranteed air conditioning. It's a direct trade-off, and experience is winning.
This is exactly where the theory stops being academic and becomes an incredibly powerful strategic tool. So, put on your manager hat. You're running this resort, you're looking at this data. What does this tell you about your next big capital investment? Where do you put your money to get the best return?
The revealed preference gives you a crystal clear roadmap. You could spend your capital on, marginal improvements to the standard rooms, maybe buying slightly better mattresses or newer TVs. But this data is practically screaming at you that the real money is in creating more of these unique, memorable experiences that customers are literally voting for with their wallets.
Let's look at one more quick example from the same place. This time, we're going to bring price back into the mix and see how a physical attribute, in this case location, plays a role in that customer utility function. So in this scenario, the choice is between a standard room that's actually larger and cheaper versus a beachfront room that's smaller and more expensive. The only key difference? That direct ocean view. And what does the data show? Time and time again, people pay the premium for the view. Now, this action reveals something really profound about what the customer values. That view isn't just a nice-to-have feature, it is a massive driver of value. The utility it provides is so high that people are willing to accept significant trade-offs, less space, and a higher price just to get it.
And this really is the bottom line, isn't it? Why would you spend thousands of dollars on a survey to ask people, hey, do you like ocean views? Of course they'll say yes. The real, actionable insight comes directly from your sales data, which proves exactly how much they value it, enough to pay a significant premium.
So let's bring this all together. How do we take these ideas and turn them into a practical, repeatable process? How can we make revealed preference theory a core part of our strategic toolkit as managers and leaders? It really boils down to this simple but incredibly powerful three-step framework. First, you observe. You systematically collect the hard data on what people are actually buying. Second, you infer. You dig into that data to understand the why, the hidden drivers behind their choices. And third, you apply. You take those rock-solid insights and use them to make smarter, data-driven decisions about everything from pricing to product development.
And that really leaves us with the final thought. This is not some abstract theory from an economics textbook. This is happening right now in your business every single day. Every purchase, every click, every choice a customer makes is a piece of data. It's them telling you loud and clear what they truly want. The only question is, are you watching?